Hey guys, Michael J. Crawford here. And a little while back, I did a video about people using the Bible to try and suggest a flat earth. And I pointed out many of the scriptures that people cite where it says the ends of the earth and how that's basically just a misunderstanding. And I've been thinking about flat earthers. And honestly, my heart goes out to some of them because here's the problem. Nobody takes them seriously, and I can understand what they're saying is radical and to most of us, frankly, laughable. And so what do we get? We tend to get two types of, like here on YouTube, we tend to get two types of videos. We get videos from flat earth groups citing vast conspiracies to silence them. And then we get flat earth debunking videos that tend to sprinkle in a little bit of scientific principle and making jokes at the expense of flat earthers. So let me say this right off the bat. I have no intention of belittling flat earthers. I have no intention at making jokes at the expense of flat earthers. If you are a flat earther, while I disagree with you and I do find your position, quite frankly, difficult to believe that you believe in the 20th or 21st century, but you're welcome here, and you are a reflection of God every bit as much as anybody else. So you're not going to hear me mocking you and belittling you like you will hear on some other channels. I do, however, want to try to convince you that you're wrong, but I'm not going to try to do so by insulting your intelligence. In fact, I'm going to try to appeal to your intelligence in just a moment. And so here's where I think we tend to, when we debate these things, at least online, I don't think that the insulting and mockery, I don't think that gets us anywhere. Because I don't think that flat earthers will take seriously any video that spends most of its runtime making jokes at the expense of flat earthers. And obviously, I don't think that non-flat earthers take seriously the conspiracy theory type videos that are produced by flat earthers. So, is there a way to appeal to a flat earther? Well, I think we have to understand. We have to listen to the flat earther and try to understand what is it that they're saying. Why is it that they believe what they believe? We don't have to agree with them, but we have to kind of try to get to why they believe. Now, in my prior video, I got into some of the scriptural stuff, and I do believe that is primarily a problem of misinterpretation. And so, for example, when the Bible says the ends of the earth, that does not mean the ends of a disc-shaped earth. Rather, it means where the land meets the sea. And that's why I did that video, because I wanted to make that clear. If you're unaware of that video, I'll put a link wherever links go these days so that you can check that out. But when we look at these verses in the Bible, keep in mind that the Bible is written in a pre-scientific age, and so these types of concepts were not commonly discussed. But ends of the earth didn't mean what we envision today. And this, interestingly enough, was not even much of a discussion Because the Earth was pretty much globally considered to be spherical at the time of Christ. So it's not. It wasn't like, I know people even think, oh wow, people just thought that. No, actually, at the time of Christ, people thought the Earth was round. Now there was some debate. If I don't know if I have my time frame. I wish I had my history book with me. I don't think that the heliocentric model had been developed yet. But I think that people believe that the Earth was the center of the universe. But I do believe that people thought that Earth was spherical. So this was nothing like earth-shaking, for lack of a better term. But let's talk about this for a minute. Is there a way to, why do flat earthers believe that there's a flat Earth? Well, talking to a couple of flat earthers that I know, and this is the real trick, people. If you're not a flat earther, listen to me carefully for a moment. Talk to them, not belittling them. Ask questions, but ask them, why do you believe what you believe? Not just what do you believe. And one thing you're going to get is, well, look at the world around you. You're going to hear that a lot. And there's a reason for it, because what flat earthers ultimately are a form of ultimate empiricists. They believe that you should believe only what you see with your eyes, what you hear with your ears. So what you can touch, that if it's not within your direct experience, it's not real. So if you take it to that level of experiential empiricism, well, then you have to throw out not necessarily the scientific method, but you have to throw out the body of scientific work that comes before you. Because you can't go by the work of prior science. You have to go by what you can experience, not by what your predecessors experience. So you can't trust, if you will, NASA or any other so-called experts. And if you don't know what the mathematics that you're looking at represent, then you can't trust the mathematics. If you don't understand what you're looking at, if you don't understand the mechanics of the viewing device that you're looking at, if you didn't build the telescopic recording device that you're just launching yourself, how do you know that that imaging device that you're launching on that satellite is for real, as opposed to just generating images? So if you're going to be that kind of experiential empiricist, and you can only go by what you directly experience, is there a way to absolutely prove the shape of the Earth? Well, I wouldn't be here if I thought the answer was no, obviously. I think that the answer is yes, and I'm hoping that to my flat Earth friends, you'll give me a chance to make my case. And in order to, you might have figured it out already if you're looking at that beautiful picture of the phases of the moon there, that is going to be my case, is our closest celestial neighbor, the moon. I love this little model of the moon that was given to me by a good friend. It is encased in liquid, so I can't control very well what face of it you see. But the interesting thing is that the actual moon, you've only seen one face of it. In fact, all of us have only seen one face of it. So any other part of the moon can't trust. I don't know that that part of the moon actually exists. The only part of the moon I know exists is like the part right about there that we've seen from Earth. And what's interesting is in all the different phases of the moon that you can see in those images, notice that the moon itself doesn't rotate at all from our perspective. We always see the exact same face of the moon. But then therein lies the problem. Now, I'm going to use a rather crude model to demonstrate this problem. Let's suppose that my mom passed away, but she left me this beautiful handmade dinnerware set, and it just happens to have a beautiful, the ceramic dinnerware set just has to have a coloration similar to planet Earth, right? So we're going to use that. So this dinner plate represents the surface of a flat disc-shaped Earth. So we have our moon. We'll put it right here for right now. Trying to make it relative. It's hard for me to hold this given my current physical condition, but I'm going to do my best. And these pieces of popcorn represent you over here in one country and me in another country. Now, here's the problem. No matter where the moon is, our perspective, if we're on a disk and looking at a moon that is hovering above the disk, our perspective is going to be different. We're going to see a different face of the moon. And yet, photographic evidence and personal visual evidence, no matter, I don't know where you are in the world. You could be in, talking to you right now. You could be in Japan. You could be in Wisconsin. You could be in India. You could literally be anywhere in the world. Those images are what you see when you see the moon. There is no variation. And the reason for that is because the moon is not a small object hovering over a disk. It's because it is a distant object circling a globe. We run into that. Let me bring up a slightly more sophisticated model to better illustrate the problem. Here we go. This is an actual flat Earth simulator made by the people who support the flat Earth theory. And you can see the moon here hovering over the disk of the Earth. So if one person was here in Africa and another person here in India, and here's the moon, they would be seeing different faces of the moon. Now, this simulator doesn't take that into account. They don't talk about it. They show how the light of the sun is localized through somehow, and they show that the light of the sun reflects off of the moon, and that's how we see the moon. But they do not explain why we all see the same face of the moon. That is a major, major problem. Now, that is only one of the problems of the flat Earth model, but it is one that completely and utterly breaks the flat Earth model that you yourself can observe directly. And that's my point. I wanted to show you something that you can observe, that you can prove yourself. And you can go outside. I don't know what phase of the moon is tonight, but I remember a few nights ago was a beautiful full moon, so I'm assuming it's not a new moon tonight. So you can go out for yourself, look at the moon. You will see that face of the moon, one of those variants there, which is absolute proof that you are not on a disk. Now, I'm not telling you this to be a jerk. I'm not telling you this because I think that flat earthers are bad people or anything like that. I'm telling you this because I think the flat earth theory is bad for Christianity, because I think that when Christians try to use flat earth theory on top of their Christianity, it makes us look bad. People tend to think that we're crazy and that this is just what Christianity is. And it's not. And if we want to save people's souls, which is more important than anything else, we need to stop fighting over trivial things like the shape of the earth and start fighting over things that is really important, like the salvation of people. Because isn't that why we're ultimately here? So if you're a believer, please, I beg you, drop the flat earth thing. As you can see, it's clearly false. It's not worth fighting over. And it might cost your neighbor's soul. Take care. If you'd like to support this ministry, check out our Patreon. The link is below. Thank you.